What's up, everybody? You're listening to Podcastrophe. You can find us by searching Podcastrophe on all of your favorite podcasting platforms like Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, and more. You can also find us at JourneyIntoComics.com. We drop a new episode every single Thursday. Be sure to subscribe to Podcastrophe to get the show and exclusive content. We record each episode live every Tuesday around 5:30 Eastern Standard Time, and you can watch that on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Just follow Podcastrophe on any of those platforms, and be sure to chat with us. Also, be sure to check out the Journey into Comics Network and all of its amazing shows. Now, on with the show!
The following Journey into Comics.
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 Journey into Comics
Network.
Production.
I've had over 40 pizzas in the last 30 days. Stay tuned. The day of reckoning will come.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 121 of Podcastrophe. I'm your host, Dick, and it's just me today. I decided to, we're obviously not going to be able to do a show on Christmas Day. That's what Wednesday would be. This is Monday, December 23rd. You're probably going to be listening to this on the 26th. And I kind of just wanted to do something different today. Yeah, it's been a really rough day for me. I mean, it's been easy, but like the last half of it, I've just been fighting like what seems to be allergies. It just came out of nowhere. I don't know if it's because of it just being so dry in the house, or if it's all the like it got really warm today. It's in like the mid to upper 50s. And so I don't know if shit's just like in the air and waking up. I don't know, but it sucks. And I've been sneezing and I've been sniffling and my eyes have been dry and irritated all day, and it sucks. But given that this is going to be released on Thursday, December 26th, I really hope everybody had a great, awesome, fun, warm Christmas. You know, Christmas is a great time of the year. It's good to be around family. It's good to enjoy each other's company. I've definitely had a really great Christmas this weekend. I got to see my mom, my brothers, my uncle and aunt, and my grandma, and we just had a really good time enjoying each other's company. So that's that. And of course, we went and saw Star Wars last Thursday. And while we're not really going to talk about it here this week, I'm sure we're going to dive in next week. And if you haven't already listened to Journey into Comics this week, which gave full spoilers, go ahead and check out Journey into Comics with Tyler and Nate. It's a great episode. Check it out. But like I was saying, going to be doing things a little differently today. I think this week we're going to dive into what was my musical path, the road through my musical career, if you want to call it that. I decided to, and I apologize for all the sniffing. It just, I can't help it. It's everything. Everything is irritated, and I'm getting irritated with it. But yeah, we're gonna go through like all my musical endeavors, starting from the beginning, and leading up until now, which there hasn't been much now. There hasn't been much in the present, but I assure you, there has been a few things. We're going to start with my band Catacresis. This was my first band, the first time I ever recorded anything, performed anything, written anything with music. This drink break brought to you by probably the D-List. Maybe the special. I don't know. I can't remember what's coming out on Friday. So this wild cherry Pepsi goes out to you. But yeah, Catacresis was my first band. I had no idea what I was doing. I hadn't developed my scream initially. So yeah, we're gonna start with this first song. It's called "Assault," and this was the first song that I recorded. This is the first song I wrote. Um, and later down the road, I eventually re-recorded the vocals for this after the band was done and over, and I hadn't gotten a chance to record with my new vocals, my new scream. So we're just gonna go ahead and listen to that right now. And that was the very first version of Assault that we recorded. Later on down the road, we recorded more stuff after a couple shows. And it went into, I think we wrote like 4 or 5 songs and only recorded 3 of them. So this next song, it's called I guess before I get into that, I can talk about the last song. It's called Assault, and it was kind of it was my first time writing with music already there. I had written lyrics before, and most of them were like love songs and had no music, and I had the music in my head, but obviously I could never get around to actually making the music. So this time with Catacresis, the music was already there, and I had to write to music. So this song, that Assault, was kind of like our coming out, and I don't mean that like a we're gay. I meant that in like we're here now, and we're here. We're metal, and metal is about to fucking save. We're about to save the metal world, the hard and heavy world. Because at the time, like I was super like anti-hardcore, and like, and I'm talking like post-hardcore, like that what would be considered like scene and emo shit, I guess. The pussy shit, as the super heavy metalhead guys called it. Which is hilarious because like I was a big like Killswitch Engage fan, which I guess is like it's borderline. But yeah, so this next song is called Haunted No More, and I kind of wrote this song in the wake of a breakup, because I joined Catacresis a week or two after a really big breakup. It was my first girlfriend out of high school. You know, I was in love. I lost my virginity to her and all this stuff. And we were together like almost a year. And I had actually been offered to join this band before. And what happened was I was just like, I don't have time between school and my girlfriend. Well, the girlfriend thing kind of fell through. So I was like, hey, I got time now. But yeah, this next song was kind of written as a fuck you to her. It's a bit harsh, but I kind of this is like one of those songs that I really wish I would have had the chops to write to, because it's such a good song, and I really butchered it with my vocals and my lyrics and my abilities to write with music, but it is what it is. So without further ado, this is Haunted No More. And that was Haunted No More. Again, is one of my favorite songs that we did. It had some of the most amazing music that I had ever heard at the time. I especially that chorus. I love that chorus. And, you know, if you really listen close in that, you can hear Miles Ehrlich on the bass. And he had like his own melody line with the bass in the chorus. The boom boom. I love that. It gets stuck in my head from time to time, still to this day. I mean, this shit was written 9 years ago at this time. So, yeah, I love that song. It had so much potential, and I just kind of ruined it. And at the very, very end of it, you can kind of hear a little banter between the band, like talking and stuff. So I figured I'd leave that in there because there was also like another like 15-20 minutes of Miles just fucking around on bass that they left in this final mix down. Keep in mind, we did this all of ours. It's all DIY. We mixed it ourselves, recorded it ourselves. So that's why the quality is kind of but it is what it is. But yeah, the bass in that song is really what I loved. I mean, hell, Miles got his own bass solo in that, so that's really cool itself. So moving on, we got the next few songs you're gonna hear. I actually didn't write the lyrics for, so but I performed them. And this next song is called "Downfall of Odin" or Odin's Downfall. We really wanted to write a Viking song for some reason. So yeah, Cody, our drummer, he and our fearless leader, he kind of just went on some website and like basically stole from a poem, and that's the lyrics to this song. I don't know if he edited them so it wouldn't be straight stealing, but oh well. So here it is. This is "Downfall of Odin."
Shadows and lights on mist, the racing past. Now I speak in the present, my ancient times. See the dark future, this world raining down on us.
ladies and gentlemen, was Odin's downfall of Odin, whatever you want to call it. If you can't tell, like I started doing a little more growling, stopped yelling. I started actually developing some vocal technique at that time. And I can't remember exactly what caused the change. I know I found like my death metal growl, my death growl, my lows, right around the time we started practicing for our second show, which wasn't even really a show. It was more like a birthday party in Cody's basement. But we decided to cover Eaten by Bloodbath. So they had told me like, holy shit, like you have really great lows. And I was like, I guess I didn't really think I did, but I guess I do. So I started incorporating that a little more, from that moment forward. And, yeah, if you can't tell, I started doing a little better with my timing. I didn't even know that my timing was off. This is the thing. When I was in this band, nobody was telling me. All these trained musicians, these really great musicians, didn't tell me a damn thing about my timing. They just let me do whatever I wanted to do, and I never got to grow from it. I never got to learn anything from this band. Which I found out later on, I have timing problems. I didn't understand the concept of singing, screaming, doing vocals in time with the music. It's still something I struggle with to this day, but had I known then, maybe I would have started learning earlier and correcting myself earlier. But oh well, it is what it is. I really like that song. It's got a cool groove to it. That bass part towards the end, the that part where it just cuts out and it's only bass. That's really fucking cool. And then the breakdown towards the end, that dun 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 dun. I actually later re-recorded over that, just because it's supposed to be like really chuggy, really palm muted and heavy, and he just left it all open. I don't know what he was thinking when he recorded that. I'm pretty sure Cody told him several times that he needed to really chunk it up, and he never did. So it lost like all its feeling. It lost all its heaviness, and yeah. So that is what it is. But that's the final thing we recorded. So I'm gonna leave with this on Catacresis. And this is the re-recorded vocals with the original instrumental that we did for Assault. And so here you go. Here's Assault again. And this time it's with newer vocals. This is after I got my recording setup, which is just... My recording setup was just a little Samson USB microphone that I got from Best Buy, and it came with a free copy of Pro Tools 8 SE, which is like a really basic version of Pro Tools. A lot of the songs you're gonna hear from henceforth are recorded on that Pro Tools. Maybe a couple of them have different microphones, but mostly with the Samson, and especially in this episode of Podcastrophe that you're listening to right now. And what I would do is I would record the vocals, and I didn't know anything about mixing, so the effects that I put on it were usually a compressor, an EQ, and distortion. And excuse me. And by the effects, I mean I would find like the pre-made presets. I would select the presets for each plugin, and I wouldn't adjust any of the settings, any of the parameters. I would just leave it there. So that was my idea of mixing at the time. So here's Assault one more time, and then we're gonna move into what I did post Catacresis.
Our assault begins with a foot to their throat. Our assault begins with a foot to their throat. Our assault begins with a foot to their throat. Our assault begins with a foot to their throat. Our assault begins. Final moments on it.
And that was Assault. And if you can't tell, my vocals drastically improved. I did a lot of practicing over the summer of 2012, at which, I mean, I did a lot of practicing for the band, and then the band fell apart. And yeah, I listened to a lot of Parkway Drive, a lot of Lamb of God and Threat Level and Devil Driver, and just really got the hang of doing that growl. And that's all I did. From that point on, I kind of started doing vocal covers. I think the first one I did, and it's up on my YouTube channel for Dick Gravy, it was Carrion by Parkway Drive. And I got a lot of compliments on that one. A lot of people said they really, really enjoyed that cover of it, said I did a good job. Which was interesting because when I would record that, I didn't lip sync it at all. Because I was trying to do the Ryan Strain thing. So if you don't know who Ryan Strain is, he's a good friend of mine that I found through him doing vocal covers of Across the Sun, and he's just done vocal covers, and he's done a couple bands like Sea of Trees and I'm drawing a blank. Recode the Subliminal, which we've talked about Recode the Subliminal on the show before. Definitely check them out. They got great fucking music, great metal. But no, I saw him doing the vocal cover thing, and I wanted to give that a shot. So the way I did it was I would literally record the video and me performing the song at the same exact time. I would record myself doing it all in one go. So if there was and I would try to pick songs that were just straight up like one vocal line, not really many layers and all that. And I would practice the shit out of it and try to get my sound the best that I could to the sound of the song. And I apparently knocked it out of the park with Carrion. Adding that distortion really helps, but looking back, the distortion is just too much. It's a lot. And it's just like, God damn, just you can't really hear what you're actually doing. It's just all covered up by a distortion, which I used to always say that distortion was like the auto-tune of screaming. Which now it's like compression, slight distortion. You don't even need distortion really. If you do the distortion, little mixing note for the mixing nerds out there. What I like to do is I like to double the track, and on the double, I'll put the distortion on that, and I'll turn it really low, really down in the mix, and it kind of thickens up that sound, but you can still hear the original very clearly. So yeah. So moving forward, I'm not gonna put any of the covers on here. I really wish I could, because some of those covers I'm really proud of, especially Carrion. That was a fun one, but due to copyright things, I'm not gonna bother with that. So moving on, my next song, this is just my voice only, and it's a song I've always wanted to do musically. But I'm not very great with guitar. I don't know how to program drums or play drums in general. So this one's kind of just been one I've been holding on to. It's on my YouTube. And I've just always wanted to do this song with a band and finish it. But it's called Edge of a Breakdown. It's kind of one of those, it's a feely song. And I wrote it because I had these feelings for someone, and I didn't know how to express those to them, or if they would even understand my feelings for them. And so it just came out like this. So here's my song, Edge of a Breakdown.
Lost inside of my thoughts, I can't explain. I try, but my mind can't be tamed. Oh, this agony If I lose you, I lose everything. To touch your face, to hold you close, I'll never let you go. I'm on the edge of a breakdown. I'm on the edge of a breakdown. Don't walk away. Oh God, please stay. I'm on the edge of a breakdown. I'm on the edge of a breakdown. And I need you now. Lost inside of my thoughts, I can't explain. I tried, but you won't hear a thing. Oh, don't you see? You're the air that my lungs need to breathe, to feel your skin, to hold you close. I'll never let you go. You're fading fast. You're fading fast. I'm on the edge of this breakdown. I'm on the edge of this breakdown. Oh, don't you see? Oh, God, hear me. I'm on the edge of this breakdown. I'm on the edge of this breakdown. And I need you now, 'cause I'm breaking down. I'm on the edge of a breakdown. I'm on the edge of a breakdown. And I need you now.
And that was Edge of a Breakdown by me. Again, it's a little touchy-feely song. I was really putting myself out there. I was really wanting to show people that I could do more than just scream. And again, it was just me expressing how I felt at the time. And yeah, it's just I really wanted to sing something for once. And I've always wanted to do that in bands. I wanted to do both. I wanted to do the Kill Switch Engage thing, really. But yeah. And again, I didn't know how to mix, so that could have sounded way better. I know I've definitely done vocals only things since then that I've mixed much better and sound much better than that. But I think the lyrics are good, and I think there's a lot of potential for that song if it were ever to see the light of day in full form. So moving forward, I discovered on my YouTube that I had been contacted by a band. They really enjoyed my vocals and wanted me to do vocals for them. They already had a few songs, and they wanted my vocals over them instead of what they had. What they had was complete garbage. Not that mine was much better, but it actually, you know what? Mine was worlds better, and mine still suck, I think. But this band is called Concrete Swan Dive, or they were called Concrete Swan Dive. I don't know if they're still a thing or not, but shout out to them. But yeah, I discovered I had a message. I had never been notified of this message or anything, so they messaged me, and I got back to them like 3 months later, and I did a couple songs with them. Again, they wrote the lyrics, they performed the songs, and they basically just wanted me. They sent me the instrumentals and said, "Hey, we would rather have your vocals on this than ours." So I was like, "All right, I'll do this." So I got 2 songs that I recorded for them. One is called "You Mocked Life," which I changed the lyrics, or I changed the name to "You Mocked Life" from whatever they had. And then there's another song called "Don't Miss the Rocks." Again, I changed the name. So the first one I'm going to play is called "You Mocked Life." So here we go.
You're fucking murderer. You
by Concrete Swan Dive. Again, I used a lot of distortion. Yeah, and it sounded like I had no idea what I was doing in terms of mic clipping, which is when you basically the gain's set too high or you are being too loud into the microphone. You're overdriving the microphone and it's distorting it. Like you're going over the threshold that you need to in order to have a good, clean recording. So yeah, that's just one of those songs. So I'll just go ahead and get on with it. This next song is called Don't Miss the Rocks.
I think you're all out of life. What's left is sorrow. True, it's time you realize you're a fucking joke. And the punchline so old, it kicks some dust in my eyes. So go get the chair, I'll let you the rope. I swear. So go get the chair and I'll let you the rope. I swear. How do you gaze down upon the world with such shit from the gunners? I want to know where it all went wrong, because reality was fucking perfect. So go get the chair and I'll fetch you the rope, I swear. So go and get the chair and I'll fetch you the rope, I swear.
And that was Don't Miss the Rocks by Concrete Swan Dive, featuring my vocals. Again, it was whatever. I just did whatever I could with what they gave me. And that was also a weird time because the apartment I was living in, it's just like I could only basically record when no one was there. That's also the only time I really felt comfortable recording. So, yeah. But moving on. This next song is gonna be what leads into the next episode of this, which this isn't exactly a Podcastrophe episode. It's on the Podcastrophe feed, but it's a little mini series I'm gonna do where I just dive into what I've done musically, and it's just like it's a way for me to kind of have it's a retrospect on my little career that I've had. And it's a little bit for me, and it's a little bit for whoever wants to listen to it. So I hope people enjoy it, but it's only uphill from here. I promise. But this next song, it was what would eventually become The Fallen Mind, which was a project that Mr. Will Werline and I started. He would basically write music, and I would do the vocals. And what we decided to do, he just to try me out, he had a song already done. It was kind of like this weird rap metal thing, and it was actually really cool. I really enjoyed the rapping in general on it. It was really good. But he said he wanted some some screams underneath it, and I was like, sweet, I can do that. That sounds awesome. So he sent it over, and the song is called "Destroyed by Angels," and I really enjoyed this. It really this led into a really fucking awesome metal project, and that'll be on the next episode of this. So I can't wait for you to hear that. So without further ado, this is "Destroyed by Angels."
Fallen angel, bending my wings at different angles as the pressure starts to strangle and my feathers just get mangled. How'd I get into this crisis? Realizing life is priceless, like propulsionary devices as my body just lays lifeless. Spectre in your speakers, ghost in the machine. I'm in your nightmares, I'm shattering dreams. Poltergeist coming out of TV screens. The bass hits hard and it muffles your screams. Those who live in a nightmare are constantly dreaming, and this head is like a vessel possessed by devils and demons. Embracing my demons as I fall from grace. I stay self-medicated, I stay dosed up to the brim. I lock my soul, my psyche, and I don't let nobody in. Drink to remember, not to forget, or at least that's what they say. But I'm drinking to forget, remember less and less each day. Can't see the bigger picture, then just pick up the clicker, cause candy is dandy, but liquor is quicker. I realized I just polished off this Jameson. I want the world to end, considering what sad shape it's in. Embracing my demons as I fall from Christ. Destroyed by angels, I'm leaving this place. Joke, and death is the punchline. It's time to start living, cause right now it's crunch time. So fucking hungry that I'm cutting in wash lines. Every dog has its day. I want fun in the sunshine. I drink too much, I smoke too much, I think too much, I broke too much. Suspectual such and such a losing grip, a losing touch. While in the gas paid up play, I spend my day to day with Taylor, make a plate and razor blades, furniture barricades, pulling past our hand grenades. Let him in, he needs his medicine. I hope he's not dead again. Like a veteran. By tracing next to metaphone, oxygen, hydrogen, soluble, active, violent, and volatile. They tried to get rid of her, so they're giving her serotonin reuptake inhibitors from the local distributors. She says I don't have feelings, I just pretend to. That might explain all the mixed signals that I sent you. And my emotions, I guess I fake them. I got a handful of pills, I guess I'll take them. Limos hit the windows to my soul. Let the soundtrack take control. Chase the devil out of my soul. Embracing my demons as I fall from Christ. Destroyed by angels, I'm leaving this
And that, my friends, was "Destroyed by Angels." That's just Will. That was not the Fallen Mind. The Fallen Mind is what came next, and that's what you're going to hear next time. So again, this is going to be a little mini series that I'm doing. I hope you lasted up till this point, and I hope you've enjoyed hearing my growth as a vocalist up to this point. Again, it's only uphill from here. I'm not tooting my own horn, but I definitely got a lot better than that. So I want to thank you guys again so much for listening. If you want any of this music for whatever reason, don't be afraid to ask. Comment on this or send us a message, and I will send it over, because some of this stuff, especially some of the stuff coming up, is quite jammable. So yeah, just ask for it and I'll send it over, because I jam it still. I jam my own music. It gets me pumped. I think we did a really good job with this shit. And I really enjoyed doing Destroyed by Angels. So with that being said, I think that is all. Please check us out on all the social medias, everything, and subscribe to us on Podcastrophe at iTunes and Podbean and Stitcher Radio and Spotify and everything, and catch us live every Wednesday, roughly around 5:30 or 6 on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Probably moving over to Mixer too, so you can check us out on all those places. But if that is all, please have a Merry Christmas, or I hope you've had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year coming up. So thank you for listening, and please make every day a big dick day. Bye, guys.
Woke up this morning with my dick in my hand. Girl is to the right of me, just like I planned. It's gonna be a big dick day. 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 Big dick day. It's gonna be a big dick day. It's gonna be a big dick day.